Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin nabiyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam wa ilayhi tasliman jami'an kathira. Just like the Prophet ﷺ has a sunnah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has his sunnah. And one of the sunnahs of Allah that you can see repeated throughout history is that at the moment of greatest darkness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends a ray of light. At the moment of your worst defeat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala plants the seed of victory. And also at the moment of your greatest victory, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala plants the seed of your defeat. I'll give you an example from Islamic history. More than 800 years ago, the Mongols erupted out of Asia. They destroyed everything in their path. They went to cities, they put everyone to the sword, they broke every building. Some of those cities, they wiped them off the face of the earth, and even to this day, those cities are not on the map. Cities like Sultaniya, which were big, thriving cities, don't exist anymore because of the Mongols. And eventually they arrived at the gates of Baghdad. Baghdad, the capital of the Muslim world. Baghdad, the seat of the Khilafah. Baghdad, the heart of our civilization and culture. And then they destroyed it. They destroyed it completely. The streets ran red with blood, and the rivers turned black with ink. The ink of millennia of scholarship. It was a trauma that the Muslim world probably till this day still hasn't recovered from. It was one of the darkest moments in our history. And yet, even at this darkest moment, right at the farthest end of the Muslim world, right on the border with the Byzantine Empire, in a small hut, in a village that nobody knows the name of, a baby was born. This baby boy's name was Osman. Osman would grow up to become the first sultan of the Ottoman Empire. He would grow up to bring up a family that will take back Baghdad. He would grow up that will bring up a family that would provide the Muslim Ummah with leaders and khalifas for 500 years. Do you see? On the same day the Mongols entered Baghdad, Osman was born. At the moment of your greatest defeat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is planting the seed of victory. At the moment of the greatest darkness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending a ray of light. You just sometimes can't see it. And right now we can see a lot of darkness. A lot of darkness. You don't have to go far. Every time, I'm scared of answering my phone now. I'm scared of looking at what I'm going to get a message about. A forward, a WhatsApp message. I'm not even on social media, but you don't need to be on social media. It will come and find you on WhatsApp. You will look at the family group chat, and then a video will hit you and it will set you back. You turn on the TV and you'll see things that no human being should have to see, let alone experience. Only the other day I saw a 5-year-old boy standing next to the dead bodies of his entire family who had been killed in an airstrike. And he kept saying again and again, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. I've been a good boy. Because he's only 5 years old, he doesn't understand what did he do that his family had to be killed. This is darkness, isn't it? But there's another type of darkness, and we have to be honest about it. It's a darkness here in this country. When we see everyone from the highest elected leaders of the land, straight away they go down to a school to reassure the students who are from one side of the conflict, don't worry, I'm with you. And they should do that, because anti-Semitism is not from our religion. It's not from our culture. There's no word in Arabic or Urdu or Bengali called Holocaust, because we never did something like that. That's not our culture and that's not our history. Anti-Semitism has nothing to do with Islam. So yes, you should reassure them. Because if there's anti-Semitism, they should be reassured. But who was reassuring the Muslim students? Anyone? No. You only got one reassurance. If you say one word out of line, we'll come down on you like a ton of bricks. The other darkness you can see, that ministers will go to the marches in support of the war, and they will speak there. And yet, if you go on Saturday to say that please don't kill children, you're called hate-filled extremists. There's another darkness that we see, right? Citizens, British citizens in Israel, free flight, come home to safety. British citizens in Gaza, you're on your own, mate. We see this. We see this with eyes, we hear with our ears, and we feel it in our soul. Every Muslim in this country feels this viscerally. What's happening to our brothers and sisters there, and the way it's being spun here. We can see it and we feel it. So, I've told you about the darkness. What about the light? I've told you about the difficulty. Where's the light? My brothers and sisters, the last 4 weeks, you've seen the Muslim Ummah unite together like they've never united before. You've seen from Morocco to Malaysia, you've seen Sufis and Salafis, you've seen the most liberal and the most conservative, you've seen the one who's the least active, who doesn't do anything with his time except play video games and whatever. Even they are doing something. Every single person, every single Muslim who has even one atom of Iman inside them is doing something, is wanting to do something, caring. The Prophet ﷺ said, words to the effect that this ummah is like one body, and if one part of it is hurt, then the rest of it responds with wakefulness and fever. We are responding with wakefulness and fever. We are struggling when we can't eat or drink or sleep properly because of what's going on. So where's the light? We're doing stuff, mashallah. We're protesting. We're writing letters. We're thinking about who do we boycott. We're thinking about what we're going to do, raise money and political engagement and lobbying. I'll tell you what I'll ask you to do. Because I'm going to ask you to do something that is different. I'm going to ask you to work. I'm going to ask you to unite your communities, educate your communities. Our education level is the worst out of all the communities in this country. Make it the best. Our employment level is the worst out of all the communities in this country. Make it the best. Our political lobbying levels is the worst out of all the people in this country. Make it the best. Change from the hand that is begging to the hand that is giving. We will be successful when we go from the people who are protesting to the people we are protesting to. We will be successful when we go from the people boycotting to the people who own the brands, the people who own those businesses. We will be successful when we go from the people who are asking to write letters to the people that are having letters written to them. But for that, you have to sacrifice. You have to work. You have to put aside your differences. The ones of you who are professionals, you have to go and work with those who aren't. The ones of you who are got good health, go and educate those who don't have good health. The ones of you who are wealthy, then go and make the ones who are not wealthy. The ones of you who are united and active and who are practicing the deen of Islam, go and find those who are none of those and make them like that. We need to up our level as a community, and we need to unite. 10% of all the Muslims in this country live in East London. You know that, right? 10% of all the Muslims in this country live in East London. East London has a population of half as many Muslims as the Muslims in Australia and probably Canada. The power here, the energy that you guys have, the potential that you have is beyond your imagination. But you need to unlock it. For that, you need to sacrifice. And for sacrifice will take time. It feels good to go out and protest. And I'm not saying don't protest. It feels good to write a letter. And I'm not saying don't write a letter. And it feels good to boycott. And I'm not saying don't boycott. I'm not saying all that. But if you want to move from feeling good to actually succeeding, we need to start work now. We need to become a powerful community. We need to become a united community. We need to become an organized community. We need to become an educated community. We need to become a rich community. We need to become an Islamic community rather than just a community of people who happen to be Muslims. We need to change. And that change, if it doesn't start now, it has to. I'll finish with this one point. Because sometimes people listen to me and they say that, Wallahi, you know, that's not going to fix things today. You're talking about the future. Yes, I'm talking about the future. The problem is we all want Salahuddin today. We all want Salahuddin to come today, right? But no one wants to be his father. No one wants to be his dad or his mom. You will not get Salah ad-Din until you build the environment for Salah ad-Din. You will not get Salah ad-Din until you become his teacher, until you become his madrasa, until you become his helper and his friend and his ecosystem. Build that first. Allah will subhanahu wa ta'ala will send you Salah ad-Din after Salah ad-Din after Salah ad-Din until you don't know what to do with them. My final point. Always do what you can. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do what you can't. Jazakallah khair.